Hi guys, and welcome back to another Qlik tutorial on how to use bar charts. So the first thing we're going to do is on the left hand pane here, under charts, we have the bar chart, and I'm just going to drop this onto my canvas. So I want to look at my sales per product category. So we click on the add button there. So in terms of dimension, I want product category. And in terms of the measure, I said that I will look at my total sales. So I actually already made my measure as a master measure, or I could just use the field again, and then you have all the different aggregation choices. But so for the purpose of this, I'll just use this because I'm on that field now. Okay, so this tells us what we want to know, but it doesn't look very visually appealing, to be honest with you. So first I'm going to do is add a reference line, or a trend line if you like. So on the right hand pane here, we're going to go to add-ons, and you can see reference line and add reference line. I'm going to click on, and let's just say that in this scenario that the organization said that for each product that we have, we want to generate at least £10,000 in sales. So I open what I do here in the reference line expression, click on the expression tab, and I'll just put here, let's say £10,000. Great. So you can see now that we've now got our reference line, and we'll give it a label, and I'll just put it as expected sales. The other thing you can do as well is that you can change it, the type of line. It can be solid, it can be a dash line. You can also change the color of it. I quite like black, to be honest with you, and you'll see why I'm going to do that in a moment. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. But the other thing we need to do is sort it. So at the moment, we usually read on the screen left to right. So what we actually need to do, as you can see here, that at the moment, the order of our chart is based on the product category, hence why it starts with the letter B all the way down to S. It's in alphabetical order as opposed to our product category with the most sales going in a descending order. So what I need to do, if you just hover your mouse over the grid lines there, and if we can just drag it so that our total revenue, our sales, is now how we sort our x-axis, and that looks much better. Great. But there's still things that we could do to improve the chart and make it a lot more eye-catching and visually appealing. So if we go now to appearance, we have a tab here called Colors and Legend. And at the moment, this is it's on auto, the toggle is ticked. And what that means is this is why you see this almost turquoise color for all of our charts, for all of our columns, sorry. But I don't want that. So what I'm going to do here is you can change the color of your columns. You could, for example, do it by dimension. It could also be by measure, but I'm going to go for expression here. So I'm going to write an expression, and I'm going to need an if statement. So I'm going to say if the sum, and again I'm going to go this time, if maybe the sum of my total revenue is greater than or equal to my expected sales, which remember I set at £10,000, then I want you to color the columns green, and if not, I want you to color the columns red. Okay, so what my conditional statement, my if statement says here is if the product category, if the sales revenue is greater than or equal to 10,000, mark it as green. That means we are happy. It has hit our expected sales target. But if it's below target, mark the column as red. And there you go. Now, the other thing that this chart needs to make it a lot cleaner in its presentation is it needs a title. So under the general tab here, we can see that title's empty. We could also add it here. As I'm in the right hand pane, I'll just do it here, but we're gonna go sales per category. We need a sales per category. Awesome. The other thing that you can do is you could also put a footnote here, so it's quite obvious which of our products are doing well and not, but we could just put an asterisk and I could say columns marked green show products which have hit target. And you will see the footnote will be added to the bottom of the chart. Excellent. There's probably one more thing that I personally don't like to have the titles. You have the labels here, so there's no need to have labels on the title. So we click on just the labels only in the y-axis. Sorry, that did it for the y-axis. You can see that that's gone, and we'll do the same for the x-axis. Excellent. And there you go. Now we have a bar chart which we can very easily see which products have achieved our sales target and the products that are not performing so well. But let's say we're building this out into a full dashboard. There's another way that we could also use bar charts. So I'm going to add another bar chart to my canvas here, to my page. And I'm going to give you another split view. So let's say once again, maybe this time I'm going to look at per quarter. And again, I might look at sales, let's say. But what you can do, and let's just say, I'm going to give it a title, sales per quarter by product category. So we'll give it a title. What you can also do is add another dimension here. So yes, we can see what our sales were per quarter, but I want to see what my sales were per quarter per product category. And the way that you do that is that once again, you go to add, and we'll just put there product category. And there you go. You can see exactly how each product performed in each quarter. And once again, to make this a lot cleaner, if we go to our axis there, remember we take away the title. We only want the labels because we know exactly, we know from the legend what the product categories are. We also know from our respective x-axis. So we know our x-axis refers to the quarter. We know our y-axis refers to sales. We don't need the labels and the title. We only need the labels. And there you have it. And just like that, we've got two simple ways of how we can use bar charts to make powerful visualizations. So on the top bar chart, just to recap here, we've essentially broken our sales down per category. But on this chart, we're basically trying to identify the sales categories, the products which have exceeded sales, and for those, and they are marked in green. And for the categories where we've underachieved in sales, they are marked in red. And this is very easy to visually see. And then what you could say is that using a second chart, so the first chart is essentially saying what's happened, and the second chart is basically saying how it's happened. So this is the breakdown of how each product category performed per quarter. And this basically gives us some context into how we achieved the results that we saw in the first bar chart. So well done, guys. This is a really basic introduction into how we can use bar charts in Qlik, and you can see straight away that we can make some really powerful visualizations there. Hopefully you guys can integrate these into your own products, apps that you're building to provide insights. Thank you for listening, and until next time, see you soon.